on, social media effect on behavior in adolescents. We recently had a patient that, she had to get half of her colon removed because she was eating like a paper compulsively for like a decade, and she learned that in TikTok. And I can tell that I use, using AI, it just makes it so much easier to put together papers.
Right.
Like, I just have it. A lot of time I just send the residents to do it. Like I just give them the idea, and they do it. So we recently like presented two posters, Florida from Psychiatric Society, and we did a poster all with AI.
Right.
Like I sat with the residents here in my office. We even use something called Canva.
Yeah.
Basically, you give them information, and it makes the whole poster for
Yeah,
you.
yes, it's really nice, huh? Saves so
It's
much
very
time.
useful. I mean, obviously, I do think I do a lot of reflection on it. Like the whole like
Yeah, no,
slippery slope.
you have to do it, but it's amazing too because English isn't your mother tongue, so it's much easier too to be
No, it makes
able.
it much easier. No, for sure,
Yeah, for
it's just
sure.
so useful. For
It's
sure,
amazing. And what
for
did you?
sure. And
Okay, so you used it to make up for research, and have you used it for your practice at all?
yeah, but oh yes, I do. I do. For example, sometimes it's just easy. Just you do it on the go, right? Because all with the phone. I
Right.
usually start. I meet with my residents in the morning, and so they were discussing, and we're like, what should we do about this medication? Is there an interaction here that we need to check? And
Mm-hmm.
something that will, the old school is like Google, really. It's not
Right,
even the
right,
old school
right.
of
It's
going to the
basic.
books.
Right, right. Or even getting
Yeah,
out that big blue book, right?
yeah, and it's just so much you. For example, oh yeah, there is an interaction here. Some of this anti-epileptic will interact with
Yeah,
this
yeah, right, right,
antidepressant,
right. But
and it
did
gives
you
you
ever,
just quick
yeah,
answers. So
did you
it's
ever
it's
try?
assisted.
Did you ever try in for discussion like Pi or any of the other ones where it basically using it for therapy?
I haven't really used any of those AI tools for like just patient encounter and stuff. I have not used them personally. I
Hmm.
can tell you that Epic, which is the electronic
Yeah,
medical
yeah,
record that we
I'm
use,
familiar, very familiar with Epic. Yeah,
so Epic has a lot of like AI integrated
yeah, I
stuff.
know.
So like,
For your
mostly
notes.
for dictation. It's mostly
Yeah,
for
I know,
documentation.
I know. It's for, but they're using it now. There's a number of them together that you can do your notes with it. It basically
Yeah,
now Epic and a number of them are even now listening to the
yeah, so that is
interaction.
there I rolled over. I mean I personally not using it myself
Yeah,
yet. But it's something that I don't know, maybe we have a little more apprehension in psychiatry because of the sensitive nature of the discussion, or also
yeah,
just the
right.
sometimes the patient population. How can I get like a, I don't know, like a manic patient to consent to
Yeah, I know, but even in consent, kind of thing. What I'm thinking about is looking at it as in conjunction with therapy. That when you leave the one is when you leave the patient, exercises that you can give them. You're not going to be, you or even a therapist is not going to be with them 24/7. That you can even create like a prescription of how they should be using one of
Well,
the
I can tell
AIs.
you, I mean, if I want to think about it, what you just told me,
Yeah,
like I'm thinking about like a clinical problem that I have. A clinical
right.
problem that I have is that, I do mostly, I mean, what I do the most is medication
Of
management,
course, that's what they need the psychiatrist for many of
yeah,
the
even though
times.
there's obviously the psychiatric interview can be therapeutic
Yeah,
itself. So if
right,
I have enough time, I just
right,
sometimes
right,
stay longer with the
right,
patient.
right. But it's
With
usually just for drug,
Now, but
prescribing.
often my patients need a therapist more than they
Right.
need me, and
Yes.
I tell that I tell them to them, you're very straight. Look, you need to see a therapist,
Yeah.
and there is a lot of resistance.
Yeah.
People
Right.
either schedule, so people just don't want to like open a can of worms and
Right.
go
Right.
into
Right.
trauma,
Right. Just help
and
me deal with my manic or whatever. My depression or whatever. Yeah.
yeah. So I can tell you that for reluctant patients, having something like this, because everybody's on, everybody has a smartphone now.
Right.
So I would say that I haven't, there is a big role for, especially us having a psychiatric, we have it's a teaching program,
Yeah.
meaning that we do see a lot of patients.
Right. It's
So there is
amazing. Yeah.
definitely, there is definitely a big, big need for having some type of AI, you know, tool for psychotherapy that patients can
Yeah.
do.
But what I want to do is to be able. There's a couple of there's so many things. One is to be able as a tool, as in conjunction, not to replace. Nobody's going to replace you, but in
Mhm.
conjunction with you, but also to measure the differences.
Yeah.
That you want to do it scientifically rather than just use it, but be able to measure the differences of what you're going to get. And then three is almost work along with you. One is to work along with a therapist, and two, to guide them, not just to throw out, go to ChatGPT and talk about it, but basically create almost modules. Let's say they're anxious, anxiety, or depression, or manicness, that you could create then exercises, and then you could do like a
Do you know
control group.
if is now? Do you know if anybody's doing this already?
They're not, but that's what I'm just,
Okay.
you know what I mean. One is we have to do. I haven't done extensive research. Another one is even on testing. A lot of times of interviewing and testing. A lot of these are
What do you mean with
now
testing?
of the testing of personality, testing of different types of psychiatric problems in doing of testing. They're starting to do a number of those, even in personality tests. They're now
Yeah, I mean,
already
also, I mean, there are
delivering.
patients where sometimes, there are patients where sometimes we want to delve a little deeper and get a little more of a formulation. And a lot of times you need that extra information. But very seldom, I would say, we have it. So we still gotta, kind of just follow our instincts
Right,
often.
right. But in this case, many times you don't do it because number one is you don't have the time.
Yeah, time is the main limitation.
That time is really, when you think about it, the whole problem with psychiatry is there's limited time. There's limited
Yeah.
number of psychiatrists. Most physicians, go to other fields in psychiatry, right? So there's limited time there. And if you could have then the AI together, basically doing a lot of the administrative, a lot of basically a lot of the testing, and then you can basically see how well it does. You can, in this case, a lot of these tests then have reliability, but it's just a different format, and then they can, based on the person, they could use it in this case, they can use it in many languages. Think about it.
Yeah, it can be useful. Yeah, no, for sure.
So
I mean,
you have a psychiatrist that doesn't, here in Miami, that doesn't know Spanish, they're really in trouble, right? In terms of communication, you don't need that. And there's so many different avenues to approach this that
for sure.
you know what I mean, that I think, and a lot of it, especially your idea in terms of giving medication, but the idea of the talking part, the talk therapy and things like that can be integrated and then measured.
Yeah, and I can tell like a lot of, it's just especially in the outpatient clinic, where we have kind of like two clinics. One that is more like for severe mental illness, and
Yeah,
then
right.
one that is more for, sometimes they call it a worried well, or more anxiety, depression,
Right.
not necessarily like
Right,
super ill patients.
right. That you just want to give some SSR, yeah.
Yeah, like two categories of
Right,
patients
right,
for sure.
right,
So
right.
I have thought about like, kind of like associating
Right.
about, future plans that
Right.
I eventually want to open a practice with my wife, right?
Right.
Like, we're,
And I'm
we're
just
looking
thinking,
at me.
and I'm thinking of practice when you would go with your wife, then a lot of that you could be, one is save you time on the administrative part, right?
For sure.
Of course, with writing the notes and things like that, it could. But I think you could stand out, and among younger people, they would be more amenable. One, the physicians that would be more amenable, but it could also be in the way even patients that are more amenable. The younger would be more amenable to it, and sometimes even more open to speak to basically an avatar or a bot than a human, and many times.
No,
And
no,
then
no, 100%. And even if just like kind of just to initiate the initial part of the interview,
Right.
like, before I sit with a patient,
Right.
especially for a new evaluation, can be very useful.
Exactly.
I can read kind of like, the pre-digested
Yes.
summary synopsis of what's going on.
And what we're doing in so many different aspects. The AI. One of the things that we're doing, I told you about my number spells, the psycho, right?
Psycho, yeah,
that
psycho.
we could even attach a number to you, that you could even play around with it, and it's a virtual number. So basically, you don't have to do it. You don't even have to. It can kind of be your first pass through, and then there's
pass through before you talk to the person.
Right. And like a regular phone number can have an LLM, a language model attached to it. But they're now phone numbers, and I'm using them. I was telling your father about it too. They're phone numbers that you can get where then you can say, like we have one, USA Manuel, monitoring wellness or something, where you can attach then a bot to it, and you can train that bot. So it would then say, hi, we represent, psychiatrists, or wellness or something like that. And then it could speak. And then you train it to be able to say, I don't know. One of the things they do with AI now and the bots is they try to be agreeable, and then that's where you get the hallucinations, right? Where they try to be so friendly and so positive is they start hallucinating. One thing
start making things up too, yeah.
They start making things up, but what you could do is train it to say when it doesn't, I don't know, let me bring somebody else online. And it wouldn't have to be you, it could be like a second person online to try to come and say, these are the services or something like that. So I just want you to think about it.
I can tell you that, my wife is just like we, obviously we are ambitious. I mean, only we're in an early stage.
Right. And that's what I think, and you could almost be in this case unique.
For sure. No, so what I was thinking is, so our goal, because our goal is to hopefully, knock on wood, be able to open this clinic sometime in 2028.
Right.
So that's kind of our current goal.
Yeah.
When we open our clinic, then we're gonna be the boss, right? We're gonna be able to control everything that happens, and not all for using as many tools as possible.
And what types of and what do you want to do with this clinic?
So we're thinking like most likely Boca. So we have a baby. So we live in Hollywood now. But we're thinking, okay, we wanna around the 80s when he's about to turn 5. He's almost 2 now.
Right.
We Boca has better schools.
Yeah.
So and also it's a good niche for like patients. Just to share with you, like my wife is Jewish. My wife is Jewish.
Really,
so,
really. Okay,
yeah,
tell her.
Well,
my husband is from Israel. I graduated from Tel Aviv University.
I saw that. Yeah, actually, I'm Jewish myself. I converted.
You converted? Oh, wow. And where's she from? Venezuela, too? Your wife?
No, she's from New York. No, she's from Long Island.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, no, I'm not religious, but I mean, I converted because I love her, so I had to marry her.
So. And her parents wanted you to be Jewish? Is that the
case? They didn't say it, but
they felt
my wife wanted it to know. So anyway, so I did
That's
it. So,
okay. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, so we are, our plan is, right now it's interesting because we live and work, and it's called Emerald Hills. So,
I know that. I used to have a colleague used to work in it. It's near Hollywood. No, it's in Emerald.
Yeah, near Hollywood, like there.
Yeah,
so my wife, the goal is that we move there, and also like, I bring other things to the table, like I'm bilingual.
Right.
And I also, because I work in conciliation, a lot of my expertise is in medically complex patients. So I work a lot with the elderly. I work with patients that are, like on 10 hard meds, and they still have psychiatric issues. So you need to have an additional expertise.
Yeah.
So I bring that to the table. My wife she also is doing she's getting a licensure on integrative medicine. So she also works like, non-pharmacological intervention, exercise, acupuncture, supplements.
And that's really big. I've worked with, they have a center at the University of Miami in integrative medicine. And
it's a big deal now. It's
a real, and you know what, it's good, is at the university, that program, they don't take insurance. And
look at that.
Look at that. You want to go, you want to have all the blood tests, everything like that. That is all out of pocket. So those are,
interesting. Here we take insurance. We have an insurance.
No, but I'm just saying. But our UM is private, so they're thinking more on terms of the business plan. But I'm just saying, you may want to even think about that integrative part that she takes, and she came to me and wanted to integrate then AI. What she wanted to do was more to think about via the blood tests, what kind of vitamins and non-traditional things would be good for certain things. And I told her that's much more complex than just
it is.
You know what I mean?
Starting. I'm not an expert on that, and actually I have learned a lot about that from my residents because they're getting the training on it. When I train, we didn't really go into it much.
Now it's much more popular, right? And
and my wife is getting a license on it, so that's why we
and the license is what?
I'm not really sure. It's not because it's not like a board. She's not gonna get like a I mean, she gets a degree, but it's not like a medical subspecialty that is
But
recognized by a
it's gonna be
board.
called what? Integrative medicine, or what is it gonna
Is there
be?
like I don't know if the title is it's like a diplomate or something, but it's
Of
something that she
what?
can say, look, I am certified on this,
Uh
and I
huh.
can, we can
And
discuss this piece as well.
what she's certified on? To do what? Integrative medicine, like
Really,
acupuncture?
I honestly, I mean, I can do it without having a certificate. I'm a
Yeah. You
physician. I
don't
can
need
just
certified.
prescribe it.
Once you're an MD, really, that's enough. We
Yeah,
can
it's
get.
just more about like you can sell that to the patient. Look,
Yeah.
I
Right.
have an additional training.
Yeah. Right. No.
And
No.
so our plan was to basically use just this piece, medication management, bringing that additional expertise to the table. I also work with adolescents. I work with Jody Mayo, so that also gives me that like, an additional level of expertise. And the idea is that way we can get like a nurse practitioner, we call like a mid-level, so you can see more patients. Maybe get like an esketamine clinic going. So some things. Obviously, that's why we need a couple more
But
years
I'm
because
just saying that, and then you could even have. I think then underneath that, you could have even like a team
yeah, no, and the
underneath
idea is that we
you.
can have the AI,
Right, as
the
part of
AI.
your teams and doing things. I like the idea is one is the AI, and then almost having that you have to figure out how this is going to be billable too. You know what I mean? But later on, but what I foresee is almost you have that AI, and the AI can even be avatars
Mm-hmm.
of certain specialties that can work with it, and then I could see it as not just throwing them. Everybody, there's now no one that doesn't use Chat GPT. Anyone educated a little bit,
Everybody's using it, yeah.
everybody uses it for emails. To every I was just doing a talk to United Way Miami for women, and they were all in finance. All these
Okay.
women, and they were all the young ones were saying, how can I get more trained on it that I use ChatGPT? And the older, like middle-aged women were saying, I know I have to be more sophisticated with AI or else my job is going away. And what I tell them, if somebody says your job is not going away and those ideas, they're lying to you. A lot of that they can take out that efficiency, that middle model. So what I'm thinking for something like for therapy and for folks like you is that you can use it to your benefit. You
No,
have
for
so
sure. I mean, I
you
think
have
I
so
see.
many
I get.
hours in a day that you can bill and that you even want to work. You have a family. You want to spend time with them. You don't want to do 24/7. But then
No, for sure.
if you could give it that what you're unique about is they almost have you 24/7. That when those patients they can do those exercises, you almost
Oh yeah, they can do it after they go home. Exactly. They
but
can
you can
just.
even give them a set of and with your wife with the integrative and so forth, both of you almost can get a set of you can have our system, almost like selling a system. And basically you can almost think of it as a product that you could sell those systems.
So you're saying is that, for example, let's say that she were to, you know, I don't know if refer would be basically the same way that we refer a patient to therapy. Let's say that we have the prototype patient I mentioned, like therapy reluctant patient that
Right,
needs therapy
right,
even more than the medication. They're
right.
reluctant,
Or they
but
needed
we are.
both, or they needed both, or you
Or
know
they
what I
need it, yeah,
mean?
exactly. And there is you say that you could basically refer them to like an AI tool that basically will perform some of this therapy, and we get
And
almost like a
keep track
referral.
of it, that they agree to it, that you still have like the HIPAA part, right? That
Mm-hmm.
it's not shared, but it could be then that you could assess their progress with it. What's the problem here is you just throw out everybody can do, and that's even the progress is that the AI then takes notes on
Yeah,
the
I mean, like it's more like
progress,
the documentation, like the
the
documentation
documentation
assist.
as they proceed, and then they can go, and then if they want to, it can be recorded
Yeah, so like
with HIPAA, that they could go back to it. You could go back. That could be another session, and it could be measured. My idea here is in measurement. You understand? Is how are you measuring the effectiveness? And then you
yeah.
could,
Also, I mean, we have clinical tools that we use. For
right,
example, I can tell you when the patients come to an office before the visit starts, they fill out two questionnaires. One is called the PHQ-9, that is for say depression. One is called the G87, that is for anxiety. Ideally, we want those numbers to be going down in between appointments.
right.
Yeah.
But in those kinds of things, the AI can do, right? They can
No,
be,
for sure, for sure. Now,
all
like
of that assessment type. But I'm saying even, let's say that she says, okay, these are the types of things you need to work on, or even anxiety, okay, these are the types of exercises you can do in breathing and others if it's kind of integrative, and then it will guide you through it. These are the ways in which, almost that you can almost have like your avatars will be programmed, and you give then the patients those programs of what prompts that they should use, testing them, that it can be systematized, not just talk to the AI.
No, yeah, something like it's more, yeah, more objective and really useful. It's not just to do it for the sake of doing it. Like the idea is that is this really helping the patient.
Right. And then you could basically, one is, I see it as a product that you can even do. One is train the other psychiatrists to. I'm just throwing this out. Two is almost having a product that people can date. That even if you don't have time with you, you'll have time with our. You'll have time.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean, and that's why. I mean, also I brought up, I brought my wife for a reason. I'm working at, I'm more like limited because I,
with the hospital.
My own.
Right, with the hospital. But I'm just saying.
Yeah, but now when I still I started to think like, how do you see this? Like, what would be like the first step here?
Well, that's what we gotta do. The first step is trying it on ourselves first. Before you give it to patient, is trying it, and then it would be. I see it because I was going to even the nursing school here. We have a psychiatric nursing, and they even came out to me because they have simulators. Simulators, and even in talking, I was talking about they have a. I don't know if you know that at UM they have a virtual hospital. Well, it's virtual in the way that it's a physical hospital, but they do the training within this building that's a hospital, and it used to be pretty advanced 10 years ago, but then they left it. It's not very up to date. And I was telling them they could even use some of those simulators with the AI, with the AI bots even being communicating, and it could be recording then and evaluating, but then be HIPAA, compliant, that you can actually see, and it could evaluate. So let's think about it. Where to start.
Yeah, no, for sure. Now, so your plan is to start actually, are you like the coder? Like, you want to write this program?
Yeah.
Or,
mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And in training and seeing, and these are, and then reviewing even, there are now, chatbots, besides the Geminis and ChatGPT that are specializing in basically therapy and things like that.
Yeah, I tried one and it's like, yeah, but what the funny part is, like, going back to ChatGPT, that ChatGPT can also do it for you.
Right.
It's crazy. Like, you can ask ChatGPT to do some, like, can we do some cognitive behavioral therapy?
Right. Like, let's do CBT. Right.
And it's not, it's not licensed for it. Like, it's just like you can flex it. Basically, ask it to flex it and come up with something.
Yeah. So let me introduce you to my husband. Let me have him. He just walked in. This is Alejandro Avi.
Hey there.
And Avi's from Israel. He married a woman from Long Island, so he converted to Judaism. Really. And she's in what's her name?
She's called Sabina.
So Sabina.
Sabina. Uh-huh.
Sabina, and she's also in psychiatry. See if I'm right, but she's going to go into integrative medicine too. Mm-hmm. So their idea is eventually in a couple of years to have a practice on their own. And she's trying to get even certified in more of, the acupuncture, the more like that woman that I dealt with integrative, that what I was telling her at the University of Miami in the integrative part, and you should let her know that they don't even take insurance. It's they basically have the cash, because the problem when you go through the insurances, they pay you very little. Alejandro.
Yeah, but I don't know about that part, but I know.
But I'm just saying, relatively, you don't know because he works for the hospital. He sees about how many patients a day?
Probably like 8-10 patients. And that's nothing really. There's psychiatrists see many more patients. I work in the hospital. Yeah.
He works in the hospital.
It's a heavy
load. But he supervises all the students and things like that.
But when you go to a business, the customer acquisition is very expensive. to get customers. Once you get a customer, especially that has a permanent problem, then you got them for the rest of their life. So if they are young enough, they will be repeat customers. But to get new customers is not so easy.
No, for sure. And even though, even psychiatry being in demand, obviously that's something
It's
that
in very
takes
in
time. I
demand
mean,
because they're
people
very few.
sometimes, a lot of people, they open their own practice, but they still, continue to have, kind of like a hybrid model because they need
The
revenue. Because
consent,
you don't know
right?
how long it's going to take before you finally, the thing gets started and starts working. Yeah.
So he uses it more right now, like the ChatGPT, for like drug interactions, right? If the person has epilepsy, if I put them on this drug, because this is what they actually do, is basically all the time in the hospitals they use a psychiatrist uh, for drugs. So he uses it
Yeah, it
more.
assists. Yeah, it's like it assists in like the decision making. Obviously, making decision for you. It can be useful. Sometimes where you're unsure of something and it's just on the go, right? Like you are seeing patients in the hospital rounding and you kind of just do a check in between. And
Yeah.
sometimes
Also,
there is something teachable for the students and the residents in the service. So like it's very useful really for
Right.
education.
And he
I think as
uses
long as you don't let it like atrophy your brain,
right,
like
right.
making
And
this.
then they've done studies on that. Have you read the recent studies
No,
that
I
it
haven't. But I know that people, like, it's just like with GPS, right? Since GPS exists, nobody can like drive around without it. It's like we lost our sense of direction, as
right,
you
right,
know.
right. And it's the same thing that you have to do it. So he was asking on he's open to it. It's just what is the next step. He's busy
open
now,
to what?
open to working together. But what is the next step? I would even. What do you think?
Well, for us, I think that there are many issues that are involved. Also, working with other people, with social workers and psychologists, there's no point for you to waste your time
Doing
and
talk therapy,
doing
right?
talk therapy that a social worker can do better with issues of loneliness and all kinds of social issues, and to work with them so they refer business to you when somebody really needs a psychiatrist. If somebody is lonely and has PTSD and some other problem, he may not need to have any medication, and a social worker will do fine, or a psychologist. So the key to going out on your business, have a community in which you'll be, the psychiatrist, not you necessarily, will be on top of the pyramid, and whenever you have cases that need the medication and are catastrophic enough, you don't want to have some social worker handle a case that is going tomorrow to go and shoot a school and
Yeah.
really need heavy duty drugs to keep him sane. You know what I mean? So it's for me, is to set up a community and also to tap the search engine results. I'm a professor of accounting. So my focus is ROI and making it
You know what
financially.
ROI is, Alejandro?
Like a release, no, non-release. I
No,
don't know.
return on investment.
Or return on investment.
You
Okay.
know, once you open a practice of your own,
You have to be a businessman.
you start dealing with
Well,
Yeah.
good business. It's not like the hospital now provides you the market. You don't have to worry about marketing, about all kinds of expenses and all
The
kinds of
insurance, about billing.
issues that somebody will sue you personally. They will sue the hospital.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what
No,
I mean? And
we're kind of like immune here because
Yeah,
we work
right,
for the
right. You're protected. You just work on
Yeah.
your business. You don't have to think about the back end, the back office.
yeah,
right?
but when you
Yeah,
work
for
on your
sure.
own and you assign medication that conflict with this person, with other medication that he's taking on his own, or he has some kind of special situations, it is very dangerous, especially when these people are on the border of being mentally disturbed and can cause all kinds of problems to themselves and others, you know. So for that reason, it is there are many more issues that are involved, and getting customers is also an issue. Even working with the hospital, when you develop a specialty in psychiatry, there are many specialties, you know. So in we also want to make it a project that the students will be involved in setting up a website and a vanity phone number. I explained to your father, for example, one number that we recently were dealing with is USA Manuel, which is
Monitoring wellness.
for monitoring wellness of people. So, for example, if I
And
were
that is AI, right? The second
yes,
AI.
right, this is
AI attached to also a phone number where you get like, have you ever seen, take your phone now, you have your phone there, right?
I'm using my
Alejandro?
phone for the call, actually.
Right,
Yeah.
for the call, is that you can dial 1-800 chat GPT. Go to your keyboard.
if
And
you
what happens if I do
And
that?
what do you think will happen when you dial 1-800 chat GPT?
Let's see.
Not on your keypad of your phone.
doesn't matter how you call. You can call from a computer or you can call from a cell phone or
Yeah, from your cell phone.
regular phone,
Yeah, just do your regular cell phone.
a landline.
Go to your keypad.
Sorry, I just lost you for a second. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, so if I try that.
1-800.
Okay, so 800.
Okay.
Chat. Okay, done.
And turn the speaker on so we can hear it too. And we can have a three-way or four-way conversation.
Now you can't hear him. But he's using his
Oh,
phone.
it took over the audio. It's okay, so you can tell us later what happened.
You listen, you're hearing it?
Can you hear us?
Because he's on the phone.
Okay, yeah, so his
but
phone
you can
may-
try it out afterwards.
Were you able to hear that?
No,
That was
but,
cool.
but it's basically
No, some phones can handle multitasking, meaning that you can call a chat. This is called the caller AI. A caller AI is an AI that can communicate via phone,
by a phone number.
So you call, and this is called the vanity number. A vanity number is a phone number that spells words like ChatGPT, and also can be converted to the digits. So when you type it on a computer, in the computer there's an algorithm that will automatically convert it to digits. But what is important also is to have a domain name with the same name, and then make it number one worldwide. So if we make a phone, I was telling Sarah, her phone number is
The cycle.
the Psycho, which is for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we want to make another one, the Psych AI. And the Psych AI will be like a call Chat GPT, 800 Chat GPT. When you call the number, instead of a person answering, there will be an AI chatbot answering and talking to a prospective patient and screening them. Do they really need a psychiatrist? Or do they come are they just marketeers that want to scam you? Or what is it? So the AI, I want to explain to you what is an AI caller. An AI caller is an AI that can receive phone calls just like you made a call to ChatGPT, it received your call. You understand? This is an inbound call or incoming call, as opposed to outbound calls. As you can tell it, these are prospective customers. Call them and tell them that we are going to have a seminar about psychiatry, blah, 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 and you can register them to the webinar so that you don't have to deal with it. For example, I just make up an example for you to understand what is a caller AI, as opposed to...
Yeah, no, I can just think about it's like an endless possibility,
Yeah,
really, what
right.
you can do with this.
You know what I mean? And also, you can do things of now with Zoom. You can have basically, and especially when your wife is in the integrative part, you know, it really, you can even have guest speakers. You know, you can have people in your team that you don't have to take over. It's like a whole center of integrative wellness or
So
something.
after we discuss it with you, we would like to invite you to be a guest speaker in a seminar in which we teach about AI, and the students are doing a website with a caller AI, an AI that can receive phone calls, make phone calls, and reroute calls. So, for example, the AI can see, let's say that she is in, what psychiatry did you call it?
Integrative, let's say.
So if a patient needs integrative psychiatry, it will reroute the call to your wife. Or if it needs another type of psychiatry that you are better at or you specialize at, it will reroute it to you.
Or your team or whatever.
So basically, it is a product that each either a clinic or hospital or team can just have available. I guess you pay whatever you pay for it, and it's available, and it's a tool that saves you time.
When we are working with you, you will not pay for anything.
You know, it's
because we
part
have
of it.
agreement with the companies, with the web hosting company. They give us everything for free, and we can make an e-commerce site with the students. And for a year or two, for testing period, it will be free. And then after the year expires, if it is profitable
If it's useful.
and useful, we can turn it to you, and we can stop it, and then you will have to pay for it. Or if it is not, we then abandon it, and it goes back to the.
We're using it as research, but what we think,
No, of course, it's
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, you
What
have to
Avi,
further it,
yeah, what Avi and I are thinking about, that whole area of psychiatry really fits with AI. You know,
Because the talk is a big percentage of the business. You know what I mean? And this is where what AI can do very well right now.
No, for sure. Now, you know, I'm thinking. So I am because I actually gotta run like in 5 minutes
Yeah,
because I need to
right.
discuss a patient with
Yeah,
a resident.
yeah,
I wanna give you guys another call.
yeah.
Like I guess more like a little after. I know you told me that it's the summer is a better time
Yeah,
for you.
summer,
Because
this,
I would like to call you again with my wife, present.
yeah, no, it'd
So
be
I
Yeah,
wanna,
we can
perfect.
plan something, and then
Plan
in the
something.
fall we can carry it out. And
You
in
know,
the
I
meantime,
start,
yeah, I wanna
I-
run.
we
I
can
wanna
discuss it.
yeah,
bounce
talk to
all
her
of
about
this,
it,
you know.
and talk to her about our ideas here. You know what I mean?
No.
Because what we want to do is we're we're wearing many hats, you know. But even when I work with the medical school, it's always bringing it to product. Basically, Avi's like thing is Wismore Biz. We're looking at it on the return on investment
like,
side.
look at this. You can read
Yeah,
what it is
no.
here.
No, what is it? Oh, I see that.
This is
On trial.
on trial.biz, and this is the phone number underneath.
Yeah.
And this is
Got it.
for clinical trials, and also for trying new
New
technologies.
software. You can
So-
talk to your also. You can talk to your.
It's a domain name,
Right.
like ChatGPT.com is a domain name, and also the vanity phone number.
So we've been working with this.
So we are
many-
making experiments like that with the students, and they do things that we are teaching them, for which you will otherwise have to pay a lot of money, and it
almost
is
get.
doubtful if you'll be able to get it, because these numbers that spell a certain word that is hot, and the idea is to generate something like the Psych AI. We are going to make it #1 worldwide on the search engine. When somebody types psychiatry or whatever, something related, we will elevate it to the top of the search engine, and then people will be able to call the number, talk to the AI. The AI will screen the calls, and we reroute them to you in
That's right.
case we want to have a psychiatrist, in case they need a psychiatrist, and different specialties
Or
too.
you can almost think of it. Think about the ideas. It's almost you can think about this as also
So look,
almost.
these are other examples. I'll put it in front of the camera so you may be able to read it.
No, it comes out in and out.
But anyways, this
I
says
saw it briefly. Okay,
Yeah,
there it is.
right.
Okay, went off.
this is runbutseo.info. So this is a domain name and a vanity phone number. Okay, this is one example, and I'm just looking. Here's another example, just so that you understand. So
We've been working with it a
this
long time.
one is Wismo Biz. I'm trying to put it in front of the camera.
Yeah, it's just like you gotta
yeah,
take it.
yeah.
You see?
Okay, I saw it there.
Yeah, but
But
anyways,
anyways, the idea for Wismo Biz, for example, is to help companies. A Wiz is a wizard, like an AI wizard. You know, when you click next, next, next on the computer, that is called the software wizard. And some of the software wizards are AIs. So that it's like you click next, 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 and then talk to them, and then they do different things. So this will be a part of this project, but also to do personality tests, for example. Why should you have to waste an hour to
it was even those evaluations like the depression thing.
I will send you an example of some videos from YouTube where psychiatrists and psychologists are making an avatar of themselves to do a personality test. They take the Briggs, what is it called?
Briggs, I think Myers.
Myers-Briggs, for example, or
not-
other type of test, feed them to the AI, and the AI interviews the patients and scores them on personality and other disorders.
But you could do it for other ones too. You know what I
And-
mean? But think about
Yeah,
it.
you have no
but-
idea how difficult. I mean, you don't have no idea how difficult and expensive it is to like say, I tell a patient, look, go this place to get a personality test. They're not like,
Right.
it's a time commitment.
Right, right,
Can you
right,
find the
right. This
person that
is
will
you
do
just
it? You
have
have
it.
to wait 3 months.
Right.
Yeah,
This
stuff.
one they can even dial a number and they get it on the
It
line.
will be connected to a number, and with the discussion with the AI will tell him,
It's graded. They'll do the grading,
we
right?
need to
And they
give
give
you
you the report.
we need to do a personality test before you see the
Right,
psychiatrist or psychologist, and they will do the personality test, and instead of the patient reading it, the AI will ask the question, which will give the person an opportunity to tell him, look, I don't understand it exactly, is it this or that, and the AI will explain it to him. Also, if the patient cannot read and write,
or it's not in English. It's in
it's
Spanish.
not in English,
It's Spanish.
it can talk all the different languages, and it can do the personality test just on the phone. Just look, you call ChatGPT, and it can talk to the AI, and the AI will make automatically a personality test, and you will be privy to listen to it and intervene if you want, and if not,
you get the report.
you get the report and so on, and you can review it.
And then you can think about it. Almost you can think about it. It's almost you could almost have another one. Don't even think about it as necessarily your psychiatry, but it's almost your health assessment center you have.
Yes, also working with school psychologists. The school psychologist, he does a test for the school, and he finds a couple of students that are mentally disturbed and are going to shoot the school. So he needs really an emergency psychiatrist to come in and give him medication and check. The parents don't know what to do with him, and the school certainly doesn't want to throw him out, but they don't know what to do with him. So you need an emergency call. So he calls the number and quickly gets to you.
Okay, you have to go.
Anyways, these are some ideas.
These
that
are
we
just
can
ideas
discuss.
we're throwing out, but this is your field. Do you understand?
So I was going to ask you, so like,
Yeah.
because again, I want to talk to,
Yeah.
my wife first, so we
Yeah.
can schedule, like, how, like, a little later than today, more like a 5.
Yeah, no, whenever. Yeah,
fine.
that's fine.
That works for you?
Yeah, that works for us too.
Let's make it 6 for now, so she has a little time to breathe.
Or whenever you're having time, or even in the evening,
So
or in the week, or even
let me talk to her so
right.
we can,
and even in the weekend,
What about
Alejandro,
early next week?
we
That's
can even during the week is good. If
That's
in the
fine,
weekend
yeah.
is good, figure out some times and give us
So I
a
have
couple
your
of
cell,
times.
so I let you know. I said I
Yeah,
speak
text
to her
me and
figure
then
out the
we can
best
do.
time.
Yeah,
and
we
you
can
know our
do.
number, the psycho.
Yeah, I have it. I have it on speed dial.
Right.
All right, well, really nice to meet you. All
Okay,
right, so we'll
mucho
stay in touch.
gusto, and
I'll
send
text you
Send
after
regards to your father.
Send regard to your father. Your father will tell a lot of stories about us.
Yeah, I will. Bye.
Especially tell him about Avi. He has all the stories from Avi. Okay, we went to Las Vegas with your father to CES.
Oh yeah, for that conference.
Yeah, right. And
my dad. Yeah, my dad is all over the country.
Yeah,
all the time
but
with those
we went with
conferences.
him to find things for him for him. Okay, send him our warm regards, and we're looking forward to meet your wife.
I
The
will.
whole
I'm gonna be
familia.
very happy that we connect.
Okay, all right. Let him know. Bye. Ciao.
All right. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye. Okay, where am I stopping here? I'm stopping here, ending here, and meeting for all. Okay, so you came in, and where's my MSN? So it's interesting how he uses it. You have ended.
First, finish one thing at a time. Don't deal
What?
with it. Leave the
Okay,
videos.
okay, I'm finished with it.
Finish with the Zoom.
Yeah, Zoom is off. You can close
Okay.
everything. Okay.
Yes.
So it's interesting on how he uses it.
Yes. How?
He uses it like rather than Google,
Yeah.
he sees about 10 patients a day.
Uh-huh.
And when he sees them, I don't think he doesn't do talk therapy so much. You understand? It's basically they figure out what's his problem, and then they give him drugs, right?
Yeah.
And then he basically also what he does is he has medical students.
Uh-huh.
So he has to, and they make the rounds, that they're interns, or
Yeah.
fellows or whatever. And he goes around with them to see patients. So they basically use ChatGPT to figure out certain questions that they have. Like he said, like this person has epilepsy and we want to give him this drug and he's
Yeah.
on these three other drugs, what do we do? It's a similar thing like with myself, right? I go and switch drugs and all of a sudden I have liver enzyme problems.
Yeah.
When I asked the doctor, she says it's not the cause of it, right? What does she know, right? She's an oncologist. I have to go and talk to pharmacology, you know, right? And even when I talk to the pharmacologist, like that Lionel,
Yeah.
he has to go and check his books, you know?
Yeah.
He has a big book, and instead of that, they use ChatGPT for that. He can read it and understand it, right? But all the ways. And he gave a paper. He did a poster session. Do you hear me?
Psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Psychiatrist. This is how you call it?
Yeah.
Psychiatrist talk, I'll say.
And what his wife is, she's a psychiatrist too, but she's going to get further training in integrative medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to move to Boca, where
Uh-huh.
everybody's rich there,
And where are they now?
in Hollywood.
Oh. Let me just finish with these
Yeah.
things that are irrelevant. Don't.
We don't need to finish.
Right.
I'm going to take this off. We don't need me right now.
Right.
ROI, some kind of medical term.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody's in their own lane. You understand?
Their own wrap it up now.